What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back, we're doing it again, and this time it's XGS style. I am the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me as always on the desk, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey Run.
That's right. Welcome back, everyone. First stream for us for 2026, and what a banger year 2025 was, my friend. It is time here. XGS, 2 teams left to qualify for Season 8. $3,000 prize pool is on the line. It's time. There are 2 games left, one on the XGS stream, one over here on the Siege Double Shot. And honestly, this game is a banger, and I love this team's name. Looking for Scrim 7 EST. No, my friend, that's their name, and taking on the newly formed SSG Academy.
Yeah, a couple familiar names on this one. If you saw it on Twitter, it's the HUD versus Case and Statham as they're looking to solidify their spot into closed. And if you're looking at this, honestly, these are all names that you know and love from the Siege Double Shot channel. On the side of Looking for Scrim, HUD, Yuv, Nexus, Drix, and Vapoa. Run, you almost had that crazy Vapoa call out yesterday in chat. Vapoa just being a known gunner, but this time on the other side of it, they got to take on SSGA.
Yeah, and that is a huge stack. I mean, Kaysen, obviously one of the known names on that, but it's a team built around that whole crew. These guys are looking to win. The problem for this Looking for Scrim team is they're not going to console it. That was the place that Vipoa has absolutely been crazy on consistently, constantly. It's not going to be. It's not going to make it to the decider though, and unfortunate, my friend, we're not going to see Fortress either. Was really looking forward to that one.
Still kind of undiscovered for those who are playing in the comp scene. I've seen it a couple of times in Pro League, but it'll make its way here. Not today, though. NIghtHaven Labs, Border, and then Bank should fate deem it necessary. And what do I love about those first 2 maps specifically? Not only are they my favorite in the comp pool currently, although I really do enjoy Fortress a lot, but they're kind of similar in the way that they can be played out depending on how the teams do it. So, if one team is favoring that attacker-sided play, these first 2 could go in their favor.
All right, my friend, it is time for NIghtHaven. Here we go. And man, what a game it is between these 2. Oh, that's funny. That's definitely not NIghtHaven. That's
Broad
definitely
trolling us
that's
right
definitely
here.
troll.
Man, NIghtHaven has got reworked
W. There it is. Don't worry, we made it.
We're here, chat. Amidst all of the Rainbow Six crazy stuff that is going on, fortunately, fate has favored us, and we get to have a game. So, NIghtHaven, we're going to it, right? SSGA starting on attack, and I believe that you said that they picked attack for all 3, or they're going to be on attack for all 3 of their maps. So really kind of locking in that really aggro, punish mistakes behavior, which SSGA, or at least this new iteration, has definitely been known for.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy that that they want to go attack on every single map. I mean, they're just sending it all the way. You said it, and yeah, kind of crazy that the Siege servers. I know there's a lot of discussion up to and including this game. We're on the fence. Like, is this going to happen? Can we actually make it happen? Would Siege even let us get this game off? Because I mean, we were watching the roller Sunday streams happen. Lots of problems happening there. Was a little bit worried that we weren't going to get this game, but fate has favored us here on Sunday evening for XGS, and this game is going. So if you've seen some problem with Siege, custom games at least right now are going to carry us through.
Let's go. All right, standard here, Run. We're going to take it up to the 2F to start us out, and a couple of key operators left on the board early, right? You kind of, when you're playing NIghtHaven, you kind of got to lean into one defensive strat or the other. And one of it is breach denial, making sure that you're going to be keeping everything closed, or it's those 2 valuable operators that you see on here right now. Poa on Mira, Drix onto... Dang. Tricks onto the Azami, and then the real momentum setter here, Pulse HUD's a stud, gonna make an early statement and take a depth off the board.
Now this Looking for Scrim team, Senvel was listed as a player for this team early on. We're thinking maybe we're gonna get a chance to see him play out the game today, but not here to start off, at least on map 1. So Looking for Scrim has certainly got their work cut out for them. Struggled a little bit yesterday, but came through in the end. Is going to hold on to this top floor. You said it, that opening pick goes in their favor, but a minute of this first round gone, and the attack still got a couple of assets in play. They still have got the hard breach, one more of those can openers in Retro's hands, but he's gone downstairs running that new DMR, looking to see from anybody Looking for Scrim's side is roaming downstairs, but nobody, everybody upstairs huddled onto site right now, which is honestly a great place to hold NIghtHaven.
Yeah, absolutely. You got that early pick. Now you can just kind of rely on the trade game here to see yourself through round number 1. But, you know, this first round is just establishing your bona fides anyways, right? You're getting warmed up, knocking off the dust from not having played, and kind of trying to figure out exactly how this attack team's going to be bringing it to you. So they're locked in. It's a minute and 21 left, and now it's time to start to put some pressure on those Miras.
Yeah, I mean, you get into that final minute of gameplay, I mean, you still got 9 left alive.
That is the
SSG
greatest
is working this attack, but it feels like it's moving pretty slowly overall. They've got a little bit of the connector side control, but you said it, the mirror window's still up, and she's holding down an electrical. No real pressure on the IT side, nothing from the river stairs. Feeling very one-dimensional, and that is certainly playing into Looking for Scrim's favor.
They're going to find a quick 2 as Vapo and Drix both take one off the board. Now looks Ying and Nomad to try to solidify this one back. Candelas go on to the catwalk, but it's a shotgun. Unperturbed, Kaysen goes down. A shot from behind. Now it has to be perfect for 5. It's not going to find the next one. A little bit of a struggle for SSG in round number 1, but plenty of time to bring that back.
All right, and yeah, bracket command updated. They're making sure we're in the right place. I'd love to be doing the NAL right now, but honestly, a solid runner-up here on the XGS stream. Looking for Scrim picks up that first. Felt a little bit slow, felt a little bit one-dimensional from SSG, and they exploited it. Now, that is primary site, obviously. I'm thinking that this one's going to be an easy place for them to start. 2 good teams at this point. So, they're going to go basement next, and the fact that we didn't talk an awful lot about the bans, but Thermite and Ace gone. I mean, the 2 solid hard breachers there, both getting a buff. That does leave the Hibana on the board as the alternative, plus all of the can openers, which SSG Academy seem to favor. So they've got plenty of options to get that open, but honestly, taking the Thermite and the Ace away certainly makes that job just a little bit more difficult.
That's right. And W sub and W gifted sub by Kylo Renz.
10 seconds
in the chat, we sure appreciate the hell out of you. And Ank, go ahead and enjoy those custom emotes, man. That's everywhere. Okay, you said it. Down to the basement. We've got a little dedication to the roam game here. There's no breach now. Walls will be a foregone conclusion, which means you can kind of lean in to some of that other stuff, right? A little bit of area denial from the Goyo. Mira able to hold on to some of those critical push points, and then it's going to be Drix and Huds up trying to be an absolute menace and make sure they can waste as much time as possible.
Here's the thing that feels like it's a little bit, a little bit strange right now is they're not running any sort of breach now, right? They're not running the 2-brow, not running the mute downstairs. Even though both the Cade and the Bandit banned away, they're sort of giving the rest of this open to SSG, inviting them in to open up the sight lines that they need. It's one of the things we talk about frequently with teams that sort of stick to the hard breach denial bans is forcing a team into, making the standard siege a little bit more difficult, forcing them into some of those off ops, and whether or not they're going to run it. SSG's Academy is not that kind of a team, though. They're not going to run the Ying Glaz combos. They're sticking with a little bit more structured, play the vertical. They're going to lose Soapy, unfortunately, their roam clear off the board, and it is quite a bit of roam game here from this Looking for Scrim. You got 2 still holding on to upstairs on that 2nd floor.
Yeah, could be 3, but Huds is down at the moment, waiting for potentially to get that revive, and they do get it, so that turns it into a 5v2. Quick trade back, though. Retro finally able to take Neon off the board, which is going to put us into a 4v2. Kaysen and Retro, the last 2 alive, and look at that, just like that, numbers get equalized. Now into a 2-2. Still got 1 all the way up on the top and 1 in sight, so the potential to get it in plant seems a little bit more feasible now.
It down to 2-2 with this final minute of gameplay left. You said it, but they're still dealing with the roamers upstairs. It was Drix, and man, just as I say his name, he's done. Talked about Vipoa having an incredible game to start off on Consulate yesterday. He is left alive, the only one here. Gonna try and block the hatch from opening up. He's got that C4 in play, and SSG, they have the man advantage. They're just gonna need to play this carefully here with Kaysen and Retro, the two left alive.
That's right. All right, so 43 seconds left now as it starts to count down. A little bit of a pressure point here, holding on to those cargo stairs. He's going to get sussed out by the drone as it comes down, so they now know exactly where he's sitting. That's going to allow Retro to start moving and put this pressure on in the side-to-side combo move here. Fires start to go out, smokes go out as well. The util dump starts to go down.
Nice play.
They're going to put it in a beautiful spot, but it's a slow creep up run. He's still in a place to do it. He doesn't have his C4 in hand, so he's going to have to be extra quick and quiet as he gets in. 12 seconds now as it starts to count down. Diffuser's not getting had, and they're not even going to go for it. Kaysen's going to come up and finish this one off, and we're going to find ourselves tied up 1-1.
Not a bad start here for this newly formed SSG. I think this tournament is the first that we're getting to see this team play out under their new banner, and not a bad way to start. I love the fact that they picked attack on every opportunity they had. They wanted to start off on attack, which feels rare in the game of Siege recently, but really I think speaks to the confidence that this roster has got running into it. Looking for scrim. Yeah, they're going to lose that first baseman. Defense, we're going to try it one more time. Just a slight change-up on this side, but the big ones, we're going to keep. Drix is going to run that Vigil again. This time, though, HUD's going to change it up and run the Mute, so they're going to bring along maybe a little bit more difficult. The drone work there from SSG ACAD, catching them off guard.
Yeah, intel is key, power, and opportunity, and so they're going to try to take some of that off the board in a different way this time, right? They did the Solus the last time, where they can find the intel. This time, they're just going to go straight into denial. Other than that, it's going to be a business as usual here for LFS, as they're going to try to basically maybe run that same sort of strat back. A little bit of dedication to that verticality, a little bit of dedication to the time waste, and run. At the beginning of the last round, that was working, right? They took somebody off the board early. They were able to stall a bunch of time, but Gunskill brought that back. That's that incredible aggression out of SSG that kind of this team, this newer, younger team, has kind of been known for.
I love that we get to see that style of gameplay. Sometimes it gets hidden in plays that don't work out. It gets overshadowed by great defensive setups, but it's the kind of Siege that we like to get a chance to watch. So from the SSG ACAD attacking side, yeah, a lot of focus upstairs. You can see all the orange outlines focused on the upstairs side of this, and looking to search down, hunt down HUD. So holding on to the right on that IT door. I mean, they're putting a lot of pressure on him. It's taking a little bit of time. He's managed to burn almost a minute at a time so far, and still just sort of bouncing back and forth between the two side doors. So giving SSG a little bit of a time waste here. They need to start moving quicker, my friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's first minute, right? We're getting drones in. They got a little bit of, work ahead of them, sure, but they pulled it off last time. It's going to be all stall game here by LFS, and they are doing a great job of just remaining constantly moving, not allowing the drones to see exactly where these players are at, and they've wasted, you're right, a good deal of time now. The hatch has been opened up, wasn't reinforced, so they've got a way into sight at least. Bring any dedicated hard breach. Yes. Going to take one right off the board as he tries to get a little bit active towards the back end.
Dude, we have seen this time and time again. When Kaysen is hot, they are a very difficult team to beat, especially backed up now by the rest of this SSG ACAD roster. I mean, 4-1 to start this thing off. If you can carry that momentum forward, looking for scrim is going to be doing just that at the end of the day. Finally, the big man advantage. They're carrying a 5v3 into that final minute of gameplay, and they've lost the Mute, they've lost the Ella. So they still have got a lot of these denial assets downstairs with both the Mira and that Azami still there. But ton of pressure here can come from SSG now with the double man advantage.
Yeah, starting to feel a little bit of pressure here for the defense. And then they still have that solo up top. Drix still trying to be that time waster. And with 42 seconds left, he does go unsussed. He's going to find himself in a good position to make a play here towards the end of the round. They've got that vertical opened. Now going to try to set themselves up for a little bit of protect the president play. verticality becoming a factor on both sides of it. 26 now as it starts to count down. Gotta make a move. Darn it, or Scary's able to take one off the board as down goes Vapoa. Now it's all gonna be up to the last remaining. The zombie's gonna find one. So they're gonna get a little bit closer to stopping this plant, but it's gonna be Retro to take one and Kason to clean it up.
Yeah, and again, this is a first floor hold upstairs. Most of the action happening on the floors above the basement as that roam game for Looking for Strim coming out, but SSG Academy completely shutting it down and really not even having to play a very objective-based round because they had everything on lockdown upstairs, and Looking for Scrim played right into that. So as that first quarter finishes up, yeah, double attacking wins. 2 in a row there for SSG ACAD. Looking for Scrim, what are they going to ban out to change this up? And interestingly, the Grim. I didn't really feel like Grim was a big part of this, the way that this attacking team was winning.
I don't know if we're planning specifically for what they have used or what they're bringing next, right? One of the things that being very aggressive on your attacking side is needing that intel, right? So taking the Grim off the board, that's going to shut down another one of those key pieces, remove some can openers off the board, remove some gadget utility that potentially is going to suss out anybody that is holding on to those critical push points. And then on the other side of it, they get the mirror off the board. Feels like a good call, but the problem being, because we went with those breaches out first, we're still going to have a zombie being that powerhouse.
That does allow SSG to play, and we talked about the cheese ops early on that they weren't playing very many of them, but man, this round they really switched into it, or at least showing it. Both the Ying and the Blitz on the board currently for this team, but yeah, taking away Vipoa's Mira, that I think was a huge play, so completely changes up the lineup that LFS is looking for. Vipoa's going to switch on to the Ella, which, you know what, great for the shield break. I think her utility and value has certainly increased in that level of siege at this point, so we'll see how he's going to play it out, but you said it. Leaving a zombie on the board is very powerful upstairs, holding on to this catwalk area.
All right, Attack's got a little bit of some aggro ops on. Candela's in play. Deimos is still there to take off the rook game. Yowza!
Wow!
I'm gonna just rip Kason off the board, and that's a huge early pick. Not only are you removing Kason Statham, you know, the undeniable gunner from the team and top frag, but you also get rid of those pesky little Candelas, which can be so devastating when that final push comes in. Now, we've seen this out of LFS before. They've taken that man advantage. Now's the time to see how they change it up so they can hold on to it.
They're going to go heavy on the drone work side, too. I think that's one of the reasons I felt like LFS was good to bring on the mute, because SSG ACAD was punishing them from the intel side. They're not going to run it this time and going to give way to a few more of those drones. And Scary was pulling that off with the Twitch, clearing out some of that utility. We're going to go ahead and add the Flores to it as well. But, man, shut down here by Drix, who's not playing a super aggressive position on those warehouse rafters. No, he's going to back off, allow the Kiba barriers there to just get fought through and reinforce that wall. Force this team into burning a little bit more hard breach utility just to gain some sight lines in and slow it down now with that final minute and a half ticking down. And again, feels sort of one-dimensional from the SSG ACAD side. No one over on the connector side. It's very much a warehouse IT push this time around.
Well, you know, see the power of friendship to try to see this one through. Cheeky peek here as Blitz is going to start to make his way up. They're going to get some drones in, get a little bit of intel, sees the prone position, just take a couple of shots of boards there. Not going to find anybody just yet. In fact, Retro's going to get taken off the board. Now puts us into a 4-3 as the return fire happens. 4-2 as it starts to count down. Vapoa finding one. Scary goes down. Wow. Now it's all going to be up to Adept to find his first kill and the round win. Here is LFS is going to tie this one up.
No, he's got this, chat. We've seen his name in chat today already, and geez, never mind. Just kidding. Man, you know, when you're in a 4v1, that's a ton of pressure on you to try and make something happen. And right now, LFS was just feeling it upstairs. That's their site. They've won it both times that we've seen it played today. SSG dominated when they went to the basement side, so that's the question. Where are they going to go? Split the difference and run control storage, which honestly I think is a good call because SSG has just been very good at controlling the basement site so far.
I love control storage because it can go either way depending on, who is going to be setting that pace early.
Attackers
We
need to
saw a
locate and
lot
defuse
in
as many bombs
Challenger
as they can.
series as being kind of a tougher position to get into with a really aggressive attack team, right? You go up and take that minimal space needed off that main breach and connector, and then force a plant on the pillar and then just hold till you see daylight. Sometimes works out. If you got the gun skill going into your hands, then yeah, that's going to be a viable strat. No shield on the board here for the attack team. Means we're going to play this one a little bit more standard, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the shield worked upstairs, or at least they thought it was going to work. LFS was ready for it, shut it down. They've been successful in the basement not running the shield. It felt like that third round or that fourth round after the first quarter, the change in bans, it sort of changed up the way that they were playing that round, and LFS kind of punished them for it. So I think it's a good call. I like this Retro's play here on the Nook running the DMR because of how powerful the DMRs are right now. Love getting to see a few more of them on the board, and you got to be shaking at that if you're the defense.
Well, this time feels like a little bit longer of a time period where everybody is still alive within this first minute. So a little bit of a slowdown here by the attackers. They're taking just a bit more time to make sure that they're getting everything in play, and the defense can get that initial starter. And they get a can opener. They're going to get a ram in to start making some noise and opening up that verticality, hoping that somebody from Catwalk's going to make that swing.
Now, if you're looking for those Roller Sunday games, I know we were looking at casting some of those today, but yeah, just as so many problems with Siege. We're lucky we got a custom game off here, but we're going to keep this best of 3 running. The winner qualifying to XGS. They does not have to play in open qualifier number 2. Their spot in the league is punched if they can win this best of 3. It's map 1 of the best of 3. Minute 45 now coming down. Both of these guys looking to try and make their mark. They both played also in the SI Open qualifiers. They pull it off here in XGS. A little bit of money on the line if they can make it to the league. But 5v4. Time just ticking away at this point. LFS doing a good job of just wasting time. Still have got players upstairs, and HUD still downstairs in the basement playing this lurk role.
And look at that, holding on to that main breach, just unafraid to be there to take that gunfight. And if he's not sussed out, he is definitely going to be rewarded with one here. Which, if you're SSG, you're not wanting to take that man advantage down any farther, because that's, of course, when the things start to go wrong for SSGA, when they got to make a new plan.
Oh, what a miss.
Out of the pocket. C4 is going to ring out. They're not going to claim one. Smokes are going to stop it. The Aqua push here, and now it's going to be a couple of grenades, and the power
W play.
One. Neon gets taken down. Man advantage still held by the attack team. 43 seconds left as now defense is going to start tucking into the corners, waiting for folks to start pushing in and hopefully catch them off guard. Downstairs looking for the Valkyrie, right? They've got an idea that somebody with the C4 is ready to stop that plant. That's going to be an equalizer there. So is able to take a depth off the board, and now it's going to be Candela starting to ring out, waiting for that C4 again, and it's going to be there it is. It's going to be primed, prepped, and ready on the default, and they're going to take it, and that's going to equalize here on the man advantage. Vipola is going to go down.
Oh, he's going to get it!
He's got to get into a retake scenario, as all of a sudden the plant is down. No C4 to be had, and they've got a quick idea about where he's sitting. He's got to take a 2v1 here, and the cross is absolutely set. A tough position to find yourself in if your HUD's a stud. See if he's got the tank. When he comes out, he's going to take a couple of shots. He's not going to get it, though. Retro's able to get a body shot to take him off the board, and that's going to go in favor of SSG.
All right, so currently we've got SSG has got the basement and the first floor on lockdown at this point. Where do they go? What's the play? Do they play kitchen? Are they going to try tank assembly one more time? It looks like that's the way they're going to run. That was a W play there from SSG ACAD, right? You know that you got the Valkyrie downstairs. The cam's in play, holding on to the default plant, and you know what? Perfect timing for them to burn the C4. You lose a player for it, but there was plenty of time to be able to react and get the plant down after winning that gunfight over on the other side on control. So it was well played for them. Felt like the C4 hit super strong there for LFS, but it was all part of the SSG ACAD plan as they pull off another attacking win. Boy, it's making sense why they wanted to play attack, why they wanted to start attack on every map. Seems like that's what they're favoring, my friend.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I love about NIghtHaven Run is that it has the other qualities of some of these other maps, right? You see that sort of longevity hold on Catwalk that you would see on Clubhouse. But the other thing, and I think the fun thing that is more fun to me, is if you have a well put together attack team and you are coordinated as you're attacking, NIghtHaven can be very border-esque in the way that it can be taken. So a 3-2 sitting into the hands of SSGA, not necessarily surprised by that one on the attacking side. But that's going to mean that LFS also has that same opportunity, because we know this HUD stack is also known for their extreme aggression, spotting the gap, exploiting mistakes, and Vapoa being one of the ones that does that very well. So could see a standard split here. Wouldn't be super surprised about it. To see how the adaptations come through here for round number 6.
They're opening up all these sight lines in the basement, so you know what? Hard breaches be damned. They don't need the thermite. They don't need the ace. They're going to keep running those can openers. It is going to force vault prompts to be able to use those, but if they're just using them as sight lines, that's all that they need to have happen. But oh no, tragic to lose HUD to go down. That's unfortunate. We're going to have a rehost for sure after this, but oh no, they're going to lose another one as well. It's too late into this game to be able, into this round, to be able to do the rehost mid, so SSG ACAD has got a huge boost, and now a 5v3, 5v2 as it comes down to it. Vipoa and Neon need to pull off a miracle in the last 1 minute 40 to make up for the server.
Yeah, it was gonna be tough. I didn't know if maybe the siege problems were gonna transcend into the match, and apparently they do. So now it's a 5v2, Vapoa and Neon. They are in a very hero-like moment. You got to be perfect to try to save this round. Now it's all going to be on to Vapoa. You talked about his ace on Consulate not too long ago. See if he's got it in to pull again, but he doesn't. Scary's going to take him off the board, and I think we're going to get ourselves a bit of a rehost.
Yeah, rehost indeed. And so SSG was absolutely dominant on the basements, whether or not they were up because of the bug or not. I think we're going to go through the bans there, or getting to see what are the bans that they want to play out. And if we're going to change this up, right, the question is SSG ACAD want to go with the hard breach bans? Do they want to force looking for Scrim to play strategic siege? Do they want to ban the cheese ops? Yeah, that looks like what is going to happen.
Oh, dang it. Okay, well, let's we're gonna take ourselves a quick break while we get this all settled and solidified. Find out exactly what what we're gonna do going forward with this one. It's a bit of a strange scenario to find ourselves in, Run.
Yeah, it is, my friend. Yeah, you said it. We'll send it to a quick break and then go from there.
All right, hopefully we're not seeing that banned for 67 months coming up on one of these screens. Dang it, hackers. All right, folks, sit back, relax, because when we come back, hopefully, we're going to give you the end of the very first map. Ayo.
Let's go.
Okay, little bit of a rewind, right? The Men in Black showed up with their little mind wipe, and they said that last round didn't happen. We're gonna redo this one.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we knew that the servers were going to be a problem. If anyone was watching Mingo or Jinxie's stream for the Roller Sunday games, that was a bit of a mess happening over there. Been seeing it all over Twitter today. People getting hacked, 67-day suspensions, bans. I mean, Siege is in a weird spot right now. But for us, you know what? We made it. Game 1 of a best of 3 to decide who qualifies to XGS Season 8. This is it. Final game to decide it. Only one of these two teams is going to make it. The other is going to have to fight it out in qual number 2, taking place next weekend to be able to go for that fight. So, Best of 3, my friend. We're starting off on NIghtHaven. We made it all the way to round 6 before 3 players crashed. SSG have been dominating in the basement if you're just joining us. Basement first floor was all SSG ACAD, looking for scrim. Managed to find some pretty decisive wins upstairs on the second floor. The problem is, got to play basement here for round 6.
I love that Malusi, or that Banshee that got put on the main breach, right? The assumption with Thermite and Ace off the board is that can openers will probably use. Now, we do have Hibana, right? The Hatch Queen is available and did get that rework to where now she doesn't have to reload her launcher for those X-Kairos. So it can be a little bit more viable of an option, but folks still kind of leaning into that can opener scenario, which means that Banshee placed right at the breach could be an absolute factor if they open that thing up.
Yeah, I think this stack is really just settled into the fact that the hard breaches are going to be banned, and so they've completely set themselves up to be able to work around that. And if they're not, I'm sure that they can play it pretty well. Now, man, Vipoa has been all over that Vector. Yeah, he played Mira the first 3 rounds. She got banned. Okay, switch on. Run the Goyo instead. Keep that same weapon, and man, he is just absolutely on fire with it right now.
First one going to go down. We're going to see IQ taken off the board. That's going to be detrimental, especially for those Falcon cams that are still up, which proved to be kind of the bane of hacking into control storage, where that C4 was lined up and ready. Retro goes down, and that's what is now into a 5-3 attack on the back foot. Takes a couple of shots underneath to keep a barrier, but still going to kind of remain safe, even though there's pressure on both sides. Now a rotate down. A little bit of vertical play here. They're trying to catch one on the rotate blind. Kaysen's low. This is a tough situation if you're SSGA.
Okay, I mean, even though he's low, he's still got a gun in his hand. He was sitting at 5-2 before the rehost. How about picking up a 6th as well, sitting at 3 KD? We said when he's hot, this team is very difficult to beat. I don't know. They've got a lot of guys on this other side. Both HUD and Vipoa have been T2 previously. This is the stack. It's a little bit of a pug the first time maybe this specific group has played, but they've been there, done that. They can pull it off as well. And look at this. Neon gets one, but he's taken down.
Yeah, and then a quick follow-up. Beats going to put it all on Scary's shoulders. He's not going to be able to get the down, as Vipoa is just going to make the swing. You talked about the Vector being absolutely incredible. Well, they're going to use it to finish this one off as well. No bans to be had now as well. We're going to be switching to the other side, so no Vectors for Vipoa now as they get it done on the attack side.
All right, so going into that rehost, SSG had won it in a 5v2 after 3 of the players dropped out. They managed to pull it off in a 5v5 for the full round as well. So basement first floor, that's all SSG's realm here on this round. So as we get into the bans, yeah, looking like what feels... You know, it's been back and forth between what we call the standard bans, the hard breach denial. Teams are certainly favoring that, especially on the maps that feel very strategic, like NIghtHaven. The next one, though, coming in is how we're going to see border play out. Very different style of play, and I expect that maybe the bans are going to change up this time around. But losing the Ace, losing the Bandit, Thermite, and Mira going to be the change up here. Make it just a little bit more difficult. That will leave Cade and Azami on the board, though, for the defense.
Okay, kind of leaned into both of those strats that we talked about on the other side of the board, right? They didn't go fully breach denial. They didn't go fully cheese up. I like it. I'm actually here for it. Mira has been devastating on NIghtHaven since day 1, so not a bad idea to see her taken off the board. So what did they bring instead? Well, doubled up on
greatest
denial, a little
moment in my life,
as well. So I like this. This is a fairly standard operating lineup for holding. Honestly, both, right? 2F and the base attackers will discover the location of the bomb.
Yo, Bjorn, thank you for the tier 1 sub, my friend. We appreciate you being here, joining us, and honestly, the rest of the community here to find out which one of these 2 teams is going to qualify for XGS. Will it be looking for
10
Scrim
seconds to
7
go.
Eastern. I freaking love that team name, honestly, though. That one was just a W name.
5
Or
seconds left before
on
insertion.
the Goliath, the giants in the scene at Space Station Gaming Academy.
That is the
newly
greatest
formed, one of the
moment
first
in my life, bro.
events we're getting to see this roster play out under the SSG name. They've been playing together for a while. They've been the Underagers. They've been Space Tubes ACAD. They've been Daystar Rising. But they've been around the block, and it is their time. Are they going to pull off these big wins under the SSG ACAD roster name?
And also, again, John T, thank you for the tier 1, homie. And appreciate you subbing and being a part of the community, and enjoy, of course, those custom emotes. They're going to start making some work here on the walls run. Got double shield duty here by LFS as they're looking to take some space and do it a little dramatically. Only there are 2 sets of can openers on the board, so they will be able to get some of this stuff opened up pretty nice. But look at the sniper Twitch drone just in there destroying all of that util. Huge play by the Twitch.
Interesting, you know, we were talking about this. Chat's covering it too. Double shield, including Vipoa on the Monty. Yeah, I mean, this is just a little bit of a change up in strat on both sides of the map here. Certainly a change in the way that we're seeing this team run it. He's going to go for a little bit of the sniper to try and take down Soapy, but he's holding on with those Akiba barriers in play. We're going to see maybe a reinforce off here. It's getting kind of late. 1:30 already burned upstairs.
I am just blown away that
Attackers
Boa is on
bomb
Monty.
diffuser
I don't
has
know if
been
we've ever seen that before. Soapy's going to take 2 out, including the aforementioned Monty is going to go down, and that's going to put that main advantage solidly in the hands of SSGA as they're going to try to hold on for this last minute. Retro with a shotgun in hand is going to be holding on and find one, and now it's going to be Huds and Neon trying to bring this one back. Still got a couple of grenades, so he can cause some movement here. Waiting for him to move. Does get a little bit of damage, but he's not going to get the kill. Able to get back to site and hold on to Pillar now.
Man, what a change-up. Yeah, right now they're struggling to get anything going. We're sitting, great question there. Scary comes alive in a 4v1. Can Hud pull it off with the shield on the Blackbeard? Is this his time? He's still got a nade left too, but man, it's a tough climb.
That's right. Well, he's going to send that nade out, try to force a little bit of movement. He is going to get a kill with it, but Kaysen's there to follow it up. They take him off the board, and SSGA is going to find that win on defense, and they're going to do it pretty dramatically, my friend.
We had said previously that 2F was looking for Scrim's stronghold, but maybe it's just the defensive stronghold upstairs. There's certainly a reason it's the primary site. So this was the question, were they going to go down to basement? But SSG says, nah, not today. They're going to run control storage as part of this standard rotation. And man, honestly, it's an interesting strat. I'm wondering, are we going to see the kitchen? Is it going to come out on this map, my friend?
You know, potentially, right? Control storage is definitely, like, statistically, you say it all the time, the better site, but we have been seeing a bit of a transition to the kitchen side of it, and it's interesting. It seems like it has a lot more soft breaks that you have to deal with. It seems like there's a lot less space you have to deal with in which to get a plant down. So, I don't know. At this moment, we're going to see control storage to start us out. They're going to have the double shotgun duty. There's going to be that attention to the vertical here. And then Soapy back onto the Ella, anticipating some
5
shield
seconds remaining.
I mean, since they showed 2 shields on that first round, for sure it seems like Ella's the right play here. Give you a little bit of that, you know, she's fast, she's quick, and the fact that the Grismots now do a great job of shield break, I think that just adds to her utility. And she seems like she has been a favorite in the competitive scene, certainly increasing her pick rate. Haven't seen her move into the essential enough to be part of the ban phase yet, but she might be there. Honestly, I'm here for it.
That would be interesting. Hibana, we talked about her earlier. She's going to be on the board here for this first floor site. I'm going to open up a few head holes to put some pressure towards that garage side, and they've really got a hold up setup here, right? It's doors are barricaded off, barbed wires are out. Azami is in this really clutch position. And now those smokes start to go out. We're the first minute gone. They've got some drones in, they've got a little intel, but not quite enough yet to make a move.
Feels like they're doing a better job managing the time this time around. I mean, Neon is here holding on, but they need to clear out this upstairs, certainly, and SSG ACAT has got it on lockdown. They still have got 3 players upstairs, a couple of sight lines in play. Yeah, they're going to use the Deimos to give them a little bit of intel, but look at that. Even with the hard pings coming out, they're not able to turn this into map control.
Yeah, a little bit of a stop here. A little bit of damage though. Scary is reduced to less than half, but they get back down and make the big scenic route rotate. Puts them in a better position to take on this last minute and 17 seconds that's still on the board. They've got things opened up, but they haven't been able to capitalize on this util use here. Defense is really just holding on. We're going to see that collapse. It's going to be a 3-2-1, and it is going to be absolutely bloody.
At final 58, I mean, now we've finally seen this defense rotate back down. We still have got Scary holding on to the Assembly's side for the vertical control. Man, looking for Scrim is moving much too slow at this point. 45 seconds left. Yeah, we're going to see the kill feed just light up at this point, but even with a little bit of vertical control here, that's not enough to be able to convert that into objective-based gameplay. And with one of the SSG players downstairs in the basement, we're still in a position to deny a plant late.
27 as it counts down. We find ourselves in a hold pattern, a hurry up and hold it will. Yeah, you get a little bit of found out on the drone, and they're going to make a quick swing for it, tucked into the corner. Still going to stay, not afraid. Kaysen able to take tricks off the board. Numbers get equalized as the plant starts to go down. Flashes ring out. Scary taken off the board. Soapy able to respond. Just a few more seconds to get it done, and now man advantage into the hands of the defense. No time, no diffuser, and SSG Academy is going to take another one.
Oh. Ran out of time. We said they were moving a little bit too slow. The rush play at the end, and SSG picks up another. That makes it 4 in a row for this team. I mean, that score line was looking significantly better for the LFS side. But the fact that, I mean, we're coming into the 3v5 here at the end. Wait a second. Nope, I wrote that down wrong. Nope, it's only 2 in a row. Still.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Good run on defense here for SSG ACAD. We know why they wanted to start on attack. Feeling very prepped for NIghtHaven. Certainly one of those maps that are going to spend a lot of time on because we know is a competitive favorite.
A little bit of switch up in the strat. We do go down to the basement now. Vigil on the board. Case and Statham with an SMG-12 in hand. A little bit of intel as Adept brings out the Valkyrie. Kind of business as usual here for a basement. No K to be brought out, so still going to just rely on the fact that the walls are going to be open. They don't have any sort of... Well, I was going to say they don't. You might have to make a vault, but they do have Havana, so it still can get yourself a walkthrough. Still a little bit more dangerous and a little bit more hassle for sure. We'll see if they'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, they've got a lot of hard breach here, and then HUD is going to run this run the shield one more time. He was in a seriously tough situation in that 1v4 on the first one of their attacking rounds, and not really expecting him to go crazy when he's down in the man count that far. So what can he do when they're a little bit more evenly matched? Can they keep this team alive? Can they find something worky here?
Seems like a little bit slower. Another round where these teams are kind of just taking their time, making sure that they're swinging on good information. And now the defense or the attack has found themselves in taking that first floor. They've still got a lot of problems to deal with while they do it. Shielders can start making their way in. Impact goes out, but not able to find anything just yet. Vigil in a little bit of fire here, hoping that he doesn't have, somebody sneaking down below. But the depth was there. The process of having your homie there was working out, and now they've claimed the second floor, right? Defense has moved all the way down to the first and to the basement, but still a huge roam game run. They are still sitting 4 onto the first floor, now starting to make that rotate down.
I mean, they're spending certainly a lot of time here working on this roam clear because SSG had been playing super roam heavy early on to start this, but everybody rotated back down with the exception of Soapy and Case, and still holding on to vending and cafeteria. So they've got I feel like a bigger basement presence than we see a lot of teams have, but as you get onto that final minute of gameplay, yeah, it's time to rotate back down. And the fact that Looking for Sims is still upstairs, Hibana is still on the second floor, looking, searching, that is a ton of time wasted. SSG has played that perfectly, giving them a little bit of fear before they're making that direct push down into the basement.
Look, Soapy rotated back up. He retook that second floor control, and he's going to be rewarded with it. Vector's going to find one, and that's man advantage now into the hands of SSGA. They finally take the answer back, but not without losing another. Case is able to take Vapoa off the board, and now that's man advantage had into the hands of SSGA. Now they've rotated completely full back down, and now they can rely on the trade game to try and win this one out. They've got him locked in the corner. They do have a little bit of presence on the other side of it as well, so maybe some shots through the hatch to try to take him off the board. They've got to figure something out. Neon's going to take Scary. He goes down. That is going to free up the area to allow them to get into sight and potentially start going.
Oh, tragic drop.
Play. Adept is going to find Hudson Stud's head, and that's all going to put it onto Drix now, and there's going to be no shot. SMG-12 able to rip him off the board.
Dominant third quarter here for SSG ACAD. I mean, solidly putting them in match point scenario here on map 1. It's a best of 3 to decide who is making it to the XGS Season 8 closed qualifier. You have to win a best of 3 to make that. Otherwise, the loser going back and having to start the whole double elimination bracket over again in qual number 2. Neither team wants to spend that time and that money to make it through. So looking to find map number 1 out of this best of 3. Border is waiting as map 2. This one's looking for Scrim's map pick. So feels like they're starting pretty far behind on their map pick. Put up a decent fight overall, but it has really been SSG just sort of right place, right time, hitting the shots. A rehost in the middle of it kind of slowed down a little bit of the progress, but right now looking very good overall. So as we see those bans come out, feel like this is a tough spot for looking for Scrim to be in. They've sort of showed shields. They've showed a little bit of roam play with both the Dokkaebi and the Deimos. Hasn't really felt like they found anything that's working against this SSG Academy defense, though.
Okay, so fun operators, we take us back up to the 2F, Clash on the board. Initially, when Clash had come out with the rework, they just saw it getting played in combo a ton. We got kind of slowed down a little bit, and you started seeing that hide the flash strat where it's tucked in the corner, destroying all the drones, because it was difficult to deal with. Now, Clash is just here. It's just part of the plan. Sometimes you need a little extra slowdown, and on a match point scenario, feels like a good place to bring that one out.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to lock it in, right? This, again, we talked about it. This is looking for Scrim's map pick. It feels like they are certainly on the back foot here, and it feels like they're going to maybe try and... I wasn't going to say maybe go for a bit more of an aggressive attacking take, but again, Vipoa back on the shield. They brought along the ops to try and clear out utility. They've got the Twitch this time, so they didn't pick any of those like real rush ops. And SSG has got this thing on lockdown with that combination of the Clash and the Fenrir and the Goyo. And Malusi, geez, this is going to be a very difficult push here. So looking for Scrim is going to have to clear out all this defensive utility very quickly, and losing the Twitch drone outside before they can clear that FNAT. Man, that's a tragic loss of utility.
Okay, so first minute's gone. They've made some good progress, right? We're checking those attack boxes. Vapoa again back onto the Monty as he's taking into that space taker role, and now it's going to be some shield on shield play. A little bit of danger as he starts to come under fire, but the pressure is there from down below. Adept gets taken off the board, and that's going to give the man advantage over to LFS now on this match point scenario. We said got to be perfect for 3 run. That's a good start to getting that done.
Yeah, man, they're hitting all their shots right now. Starting with that warehouse side, we got a chance to see it, but now look at this. Vipoa already in sight, backed up. We're seeing some red pings come out, but they know that Rafters is completely claimed here by the attackers. The big question is, no way he loses both of those fights. That's crazy. Neon hitting everything after this Rios. Man, it's 8-4-1 right now.
They're just going to absolutely collapse on him. He's going to find one, but that's just not going to be enough. It's a flawless round as it was a down, not a kill. And Yeah, LFS just played this one better, right? You had to be perfect for 3. You knew you had to take baby steps and find that first one. They do just that, and now it's just a little bit closer. Clash Strat didn't quite pay off for that one.
You know what? I think Clash could have worked, right? The problem is that LFS just hit all of their shots. There was 3 great shots there at the top of the warehouse, over on the connector side, and then in the site that just, you know what, 50-50, great gunfights that could have honestly gone either way, but LFS was just right place, right time, and hitting their shots when they absolutely had to. And yeah, Clash is never going to win a 1v5 scenario, puts LFS flawless, but still felt like it's a good pick. If they had maybe just one of those other gunfights gone in SSG ACAD's way, we'd be talking a little bit of a different story. But if you're looking for Scrim fan, that's just funny to say. I don't think anybody really loves looking for scrims, but I love this team, and they have managed to pull off 1 round closer. You said perfect for 3. How about 2 more? Can they pull it off?
You know, honestly, feels like it could be a scenario where that starts to play, right? These are known quantities in the comp scene. 2 rounds seems incredibly doable, but the thing is they're going to be stratting for that on the defense, right? It's not just we're going to try to win our gunfights here. It's let's slow it down to the last possible minute that you can get in. And how do they do that? They bring out the stopping power of Castle. They deny your intel with Mozzie. They've got the area denial of smoke on the board, and then a couple of intel C4 operators to really double up on this. This is definitely a defense that is going to try to stall you out for as long as possible. We'll see if LFS is able to find their next one.
Again, not a huge, not heavy roam. You got 2 of the 5 players upstairs on that second floor, and you talked about them, both Castle and Mozzie up there. And Mozzie looking to deny all of that intel and force LFS to spend more time clearing upstairs. So they're getting all the sight lines open, they're using the can openers, they're using Hibana, so they have got some sight lines in, but they have to worry about what's downstairs in the basement, and this SSG ACAD team brought along 3 C4s to try and do that. I love the fact, though, that LFS is using the shields upstairs to work on clearing it quickly, not waste any time. They didn't bring along any of the roam clear operators, and now they're going to do that manually with both Neon and Vipoa. And take a look at this. He's already right on that site door. And SSG ACAD feels like they're backed into a bit of a corner as a depth hole, and the smoke is sort of left alone to try and defend site.
Yeah, well, they moved out of B2 entirely, so that means that plant that goes in off the pillar that we talked about the first time the control storage was being played is a possibility. Now, they still have, of course, Mozzie, who's got some intel. He's got a C4 in hand. He's going to try to deny that.
No way.
Take Neon off the board with a well-placed melee, and that's going to be huge. And now they've got some great info. It's going to get sussed out by the drone. They're going to take a couple of pre-fires through, but not in a position to really flush them out of there.
Wow, just missed.
Retro that takes a shotgun run. It's falling apart for LFS right now. It's a 5v2. You got a couple of low health scenarios, but one of the problems is one of the folks you got is a shield. We're gonna have to get some comms on that. What made that switch over for Vipoa? Not traditionally, I think, a role that we've really seen him in, like ever.
Yeah, hopefully somebody's got a little bit of ball knowledge there, but as Vipoa goes, maybe going to get that plant down. A little bit of distraction over on this side. He runs the C4 down below. Wow, W play from the basement. Never able to clear out Retro, and that pulse was really the difference maker on this round. Final 24 seconds. Can Drix pull it off?
That's going to be the big question. It has to be perfect for 4. 2 low health scenarios, but intel galore. C4s have been dealt with. A flash is going to ring out, which means he puts himself in a good position to take a swing, but it's a shotgun. You're going to have to be perfect. It's a prone position, and Adept's going to find him off the board. SSGA is going to take map number 1 in this best of 3.
Big GG's there to SSG ACAD, 7-4 victory. A little bit of the rehost in the middle, but Siege servers cooperating for us today as they pull off map 1. We said it, map 2 is border, and it is on its way. It is almost time to get that one set up, but honestly, I appreciate everybody being here for map 1. We're trying to decide which one of these 2 teams, only one, can make it to the XGS Season A close qualifier. The other having to fight it out in qualifier number 2 next weekend. man, a couple W lineups, and we appreciate y'all being here with us for that game.
Absolutely. So you know the deal and you know the drill. We're going to get the next map set up, so sit back, relax, because when we come back, we're going to bring on the second map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back for map number 2. Map 1 was a bit of a banger. It had a little bit of a hang up, right? That recent Siege hack of it playing its part. We rehosted and SSGA ended up finding the win on map number 1, NIghtHaven. Now we go to Border.
Yeah, and what a different kind of map this is. I think this is going to favor the LFS sort of aggressive play style, but Border was SSG ACAD's map pick. If there was a place they wanted to do battle, this is it. This is a win. They got a win on NIghtHaven on LFS's map pick. Huge boost to this team. Best of 3. They're going to have to take each other's to send it to the decider. But, man, with the way that SSG ACAD was playing on that first map, I don't think we're going to see the decider, my friends. The LFS fans got to come out in chat big time because it's time for Border.
Yeah, time for Border and run. It's not just Border, but it's SSGA on attack on Border, right? We talked about that in the pre-show. They really favor getting those engagements quick. They're very great at spotting the gap and punishing those mistakes. And Border is a map that lends itself to that. It's quick. It's lots of soft breach. It's very in your face. And some of these things are very default as well. The story will be told by the bands coming out right now. First off the board, Deimos and Mira. Are you surprised? Because I'm definitely not.
No. Not with the way that this had been played. This had played out overall. SSG ACAD, known for playing the Deimos. I think they're very good and so good on this map specifically at being able to play the vertical. So much breachable floor. And then Mira, right? Make sure that Vipoa cannot play the Mira. You're going to leave him the Vector in the hands of Goyo as you get rid of the Azami instead. But honestly, great pick there. Azami's so difficult to deal with on this map. So much utility. She brings a ton of value to Border. I think that certainly makes things a little bit easier, forcing the defense into using, like the castle as the alternative to try and block off some of those sight lines. But we're getting into it, my friend. Map 2 of the best of 3. SSG ACAD is 1 map away from punching their ticket, the SGX Season 8. Looking for Scrim. What can they do?
You know what I find interesting, Run, is that, we don't just cast this game, we play it a lot, right? One of my favorite games to play, always playing ranked, always playing quick matches. And one thing that I haven't really ever seen is a castle being used for a top floor hold, right? Yeah, it's been done. Obviously, we've seen comp teams do it, but recently, this last week and a half, 2 weeks in playing ranked,
10 seconds
castle's
remaining.
been being used on the top floor, and now here it is into the comp scene as well. It's crazy to see how those two worlds kind of colliding. Usually, I feel like we're taking strats from watching comp and inputting it, and it went the other way around. Castle up top, I'm a big fan of this right now. Surprise, surprise.
No, not a surprise at all. We know that Whiskey Glitter loves the castle play, certainly so good in the competitive scene. And yeah, interesting that it's sort of flowing backwards this time around. Neon, he had a great game post-rehost. I think he was 8-4, even in that loss for LFS. So looking to see what he can pull off some of that same magic here on Border. Attacker-sided map, but we start off on that 2F for sure, the defensive stronghold on this one. I like where they're going so far in SSG ACAD. I mean, there was times we called them out for moving a little bit slow on the attack, but it was always well set up, well backed up by a coordinated attack that put the defense down, and 7-4 victory. Not exactly dominating, but certainly decisive.
Right, this castle extension is exquisite, right? Not only not only have they taken up the entirety of the 2F and hold on to security in a very dominant presence with the barricades and the rotates, but they've got everything down below sealed off as well. So every movement inside of Border in this close-knit map here is going to be a sound cue. I honestly think this is fun. SSGA, well, they're going to find the first kill. That's I was going to say they might need to bring something special to this hold, potentially if they haven't seen it before, but they find the first kill, they take the man advantage. Still got a minute and a half to play along with here, so let's see what they bring.
I was going to say, they've mostly backed off this engagement over on the security side, but it's still, HUD was holding on to that spot, and he's going to back off as well. So they're giving away SSG ACAD a little bit more room to maneuver, but still held on, still holding on to the fountain off his side, not completely gained here. And look at that, taking some shots through the wall. Neon wins another. Jeez, we were just talking about what a run he had been on. Playing the castle upstairs, he's only going to get one, and that is Retro down. Still recoverable, putting this back into a 4v4 with 45 left.
All right, equalized now, and they've effectively dealt with most of the extension. However, Vapoa is going to take Scary off the board, and they still know about the East presence. Main advantage down in the hands of LFS, as they're looking to just try to slow some things down. W pickup as Retro is able to find Vapoa off the board. Headshot to take him down, now into a 3-3, 23 seconds left, so the pressure starts to now mount for SSGA to make a move to get in and get that plant down. And it's going to be tough to do it with HUDs holding on to it. SMG-11 and a Vector ring out to claim one, and now it's going to be all up to Retro to bring this back. Finds the prone position. 7 seconds left.
Oh!
Pistol towards Radio, not going to find it though. LFS is going to take round number 1.
Damn, so close here for this team. They came right down to it, and again, Neon comes up big. We said his name at the beginning of this round. Boy, what an answer back there playing the castle. He picks up both with primary and the secondary to finish off with the shotgun, but that was a W cross set up there from LFS to shut down SSG ACAD. Pushed in through the rotate from security and just did not go their way. The fountain was not secured. It was a good hold there from LFS. So they win the defensive stronghold. Expected on this map for the defense to pick up the Armory Archive site. The problem is the first floor site's a little bit more difficult statistically for the defense to hold. So they've got to be just a little bit better statistically. So what can they do? Oh, you know what? Run the Cade this time with that sniper shotty. The DMRs were in the DMR meta, certainly in Siege right now, so bring out a few of them if you've got them. But also shotguns in hand, in quantity for this LFS team.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Shotguns on border. Feels like it goes together like peanut butter and jelly, my friend. So much soft breach, so many areas to exploit with a shotgun.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
They take it down to the bathroom and tellers to start us out. And it honestly feels like pretty still run-of-the-mill operators being brought out here. I do love the investment into making sure that passport stays closed, right? The Cade claws are on there, making sure that you can't open up the barricades. There's some Banshees around to slow down any presence from that side of it. Knowing that, or signaling that LFS is obviously aware of the defaults, aware of the meta, and is going to do their best to give something to SSGA that they're not going to be ready for. I like this.
Look at this, a little bit, I would call it a late round reinforcement, but certainly a little bit late setup here coming out from the LFS side. So they're fairly exposed, right? Ayers is playing that Cade downstairs in a very exposed position, but SSG ACAD hasn't really made that push in to put any pressure on him directly. So they've got the Scary running the Brava to try and steal any of this electronic utility, maybe get rid of one of those Cade claws. And look at this, they're taking the shots looking. Soapy is in a position there to punish him for being a little bit too forward in that positioning downstairs in the lobby.
Potentially right too forward, but still has remained alive. So he's holding on to that area. They have to push him. This is time waste city. And they're doing an excellent job of it. Clutch Drone's going to get in and steal one of those Banshees, allowing them to take some space here and start putting some pressure onto this second floor fountain area. Smoke canister's going to go out, and this stall game is starting to pay off here, Run.
Oh, look at this. They're going to use the Impact EMP to get rid of the Cade Claw to try and gain a little bit of control on the fountain side, but Neon uses that two-brow Zoto to block that thing off. So this is the position they need to get him cleared out if they're going to be able to have a little bit of vertical control on top of site. And SSG ACAD committing a ton of resources to try and clear him out right now. It is just taking way too freaking long at this point. They managed to find one, but it's only one. Okay, how about 2? Never mind, Kaysen stepping up.
Yeah, holy Whiff City Batman. Huds is going to regret that one later as he had the free kill and just whips it. Unfortunately, starts to fall apart for the defense after that. Now puts themselves into a 5v3, control of the top floor, and now control of the man advantage as well.
Yo, what?
But they are completely set up around the board. They do find the Dokkaebi off the board. First huge kill, and now Adept is able to answer back. The Polo goes down. It's all going to be up to Drix to try to bring this one back. Kaysen takes him off the board with a headshot, and that's going to be one for the attacking side.
That was just a tragic play downstairs at the bottom of Metal. I think he was completely lost. That should have been a flawless there for SSG ACAD as LFS just sort of fell apart. Again, we talked about in one of the previous rounds from NIghtHaven where there was one round where LFS just hit all of their shots and completely shut down the SSG ACAD team round 4. This one sort of went the other way. They lost all those battles, a couple of big whiffs, and SSG just didn't make any mistakes and took advantage of everything presented to them. Find a big win there on round 2. So I wouldn't so much say that that was a map statistic side helping out SSG ACAD. They were just better than LFS on that round. So LFS is going to run it back. They're going to play the bathroom site one more time with... What is that, basically the same lineup? Is the Castle the only change-up?
I think so. Yeah, well, no, yeah, let's see, no Malusi. I think we did have the Warden on the last one, too. So, yeah, Castle being brought out, it kind of helped facilitate that extension they were using earlier, right? We had Cade down below. This time, it's going to be an attention to holding on to the vertical. Not so much an extension out, but
5 seconds to go.
And could be playing into that time waste that is exactly what LFS needs, right? SSGA, they're patient, they hold their angles, they get the intel, and then they make their 3-2-1 bingo collapse. Hopefully Castle might try to slow that down, and I say hopefully only because obviously I want victory, right? Obviously I want to go onto bank. I want to see this go all of them, especially when this is your big chance to get into XGS.
Yeah, the big prize pool in waiting for the team that can win. And there's a bunch of invited teams as well. The SILCQ qualifier T2 teams already invited to XGS. But the open qualifier spots is still here. And honestly, this SSG ACAD team is on the up. This is a team going to pick up those invites as well, especially if they can find a big win here in XGS Season 8. But they got to make it through the qualifier first to start that off. So a couple of shots being taken from the soft walls, hoping they can catch one of these defenders off guard. Or an attacker if you're lucky. We can see Castle holding on. Gonna go for the shot. He hits 1-2. No, misses it, and Soapy picks up that, putting them in a 5v3 with 1:48. Tons of time left for this attack.
Yeah, unfortunate. Once the Tuberau went down, and I'm not going to call the round over by any means. It's just going to be a tough climb here for this defense. But Tuberau was kind of that crutch point that you had to get out from holding those walls open. And once they take him off the board, then it's open up a few, get your players in place, and go ahead and just wait for the cuts. That's exactly what they did, and now we find Cade in a 1v5. Got to be absolutely perfect and on pace for the ace to bring this one back. Minute 17, which means there's a ton of time. He's going to find Retro, but Adept is there. They take him off the board.
Yeah, you said it. The Tuberau going down just sort of was the hinge pin for this entire defense that collapsed after that, and could have certainly been a flawless there, but it was an SSG ACAD half. Or first quarter, for sure. Yeah, we saw LFS pick up that victory on the second floor. The problem is, attacker-sided map. They did their job, though, right? They got that second floor win. Couldn't find a first floor. Now we're going to get to see it run it back one more time after the bans come out. And this time, wow, Castle. You know what? Great call. Targeted. It doesn't feel like he was going to be the guy that they maybe were going to start off banning going into this first quarter ban, but certainly with the impact that he had for LFS to start it, I think that's a great call as that target ban coming out.
I love that we live in a world where Castle needs to be banned out. Like that just feels like a big deep
Attackers need
breath
to
of
locate and defuse the bomb.
it's all right with the world. Castle gets banned out. Yeah, a bit of a target ban, but it makes sense for the play here, right? There's so much you can do with it. They've already demonstrated some kind of unique aspects to where they're putting those out, some unique extensions that they're bringing towards the table here. So, you know what? Makes absolute sense. 2-1, SSGA takes it on the first round rotate, which means now we're going to see it all done again. What's going to be the changeup? Aruni's on the board for DMR, slowing things down with the Fenrir. Is the can't see track. But other than that, kind of sticking to the guns on this one.
All right, second floor. This was the stronghold. We saw LFS pick up the win here. So the question is, how's SSG ACAD going to adapt around it? Not going to have to deal with the castle this time around, but they lose the Capital as well, making that just a little bit more difficult, and going to be a few DMRs here. Scary this time, man, taking some shots, and that's one that we absolutely love in ranked. The arrow tells you exactly where the defenders are playing at, and sometimes you catch them off guard.
Sometimes, almost every time on board for me, I got put my put my cursor on the arrow and fire, and somebody's almost always caught off on the rotate. Funny to see that one being brought out as here. Doesn't amount to anything though just yet. Run is just a couple of shots through, a little bit of panic potentially, and now we're gonna see Ash maybe getting active from the bottom half.
I mean, entry. This is a quick entry kind of a map. Love to see that here from this SSG ACAD attack. And we talked about it. They wanted to start on attack all three maps. Happy here to have that be their MO, and attacking side the more difficult one. So well-prepared attack team. I think that's one of the reasons that this team is looking very good, why they earned that SSG ACAD slot. Looking for Scrim, though, looking to put up this match, and you said it. You want to see map 3. It is a best of 3 between these two. If you're just joining us, welcome in, everyone. The winner moves on to the XGS closed qualifier in 2 weeks. The loser, man, they go home. They're going to have to play open qualifier number 2 next weekend to have a shot at it. And look at this. Is he going to... I thought he was going to take an L there from the environmental ingredient in the corner.
Able to slowly creep on out, and because he didn't give away a bunch of that down to, he still remains relatively, well, never mind. I was going to say relatively hidden, but they've got him sussed out. They know exactly where he's at. Yellow pings ring out, and now they're going to start to put that pressure on. He's going to rotate out, but Depson's going to take one off the board. Answered back as Kaysen goes down, now puts us into a 4-3. Still main advantage into the hands of LFS. So we're trying to put that pressure onto the security area, but
oh, huge!
Yeah, huge play. Adept goes down now into a 4-2. Starting to fall apart here for this SSG attack squad.
He's in a tough position, but no way. Scary comes and cuts off that line. I thought the guy in 90 was going to lose that battle. Retro was doing battle, but just, man, comes alive there at the end. Backed up by Scary. That was a huge teamwork play there from SSG to keep him in it. It's a 3v2 with 22 seconds left.
Does able to find one off the board. Neon gonna get it. Retro again, the last alive in a 1v2, 13 seconds in which to act, but it's a shotgun. Can't get close enough for that one to get it done, and they're gonna find the tie-up.
There it is, defensive win upstairs on the 2F. LFS putting in the work, getting it done when they absolutely had to now as we're tied up 2-2. But that puts SGS ACAD here on the stronger side of their quarter. Get to play downstairs. We're not going to see bathroom this time. Honestly, good call. LFS going to change it up. Go the vent workshop side. See if they can find a little bit of magic on the other half of the map. We're going to see them for sure set up a ton of players and utility upstairs in that Armory Archives side. The vertical above it.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So since they skipped the bathroom tellers, do you think that means that we got potential to see customs coming up, Run?
Not a chance, bro. There's no way.
Not a chance.
LFS, I mean, this may not be a tier 2 roster together. It's a little bit of a pug stack here, but they've got some T2 players on this team, and I don't think they're going to try the offsite here. SSG ACAD just too good on attack to give away the advantage to statistics, my friend.
Yeah, you know what? Here's my call. If they win this one dramatically, right? If defense finds this one, I bet you HUD's calls the
Attackers
custom
are
strat.
heading out to defuse a
I'm
bomb.
calling it right here.
It was, you know what? I'm trying to think. It was SSG that threw customs in, where was that? Atlanta, Montreal? Man, I can't remember. Round at, man, 12. Wait, searching my memory. Don't ever do math on stream. Also, don't try and Don't try and guess at statistics and match history. But pretty sure that's who it was. Not the ACAD roster, but I don't think we're gonna see customs here. We are gonna see though HUD playing over on the custom side and geez, taking a few bullets from Adept playing upstairs, just using that IQ scanner to identify exactly where the Pulse is playing this time around. Man, W play coming out from Adept.
Yeah, it does do half health onto HUD. Not the IQ to suss out anytime he's using the gadget could put him into a tough spot, especially when the homies start to get the cut route, right? And getting that intel could provide the kill on the Pulse for sure. Definitely see him play into customs when they're trying to take that security top side. Retro's going to go down. That's going to be the hard breach taken off the board. Huge play as they now take that man advantage, leaving no can openers or anything. So that's it. Whatever's open's open. You're going to have to rely on the soft breach outside of that.
I mean, the fact that this map has got so many opportunities, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad scenario here for this attack. So, and right there, another big kill, and man, Kaysen picks up another 3v3, minute 18, and that's 2 big kills coming out from this SSG ACAD team. Man, they don't have the IQ this time to try and identify where HUD is playing at, but they've only got 2 C4s of the 3 left on the board, but that is still 2 huge plays that they can have.
Absolutely. Yet again, going to find himself another kill on a bit of a tear today as he finds himself with the man advantage. They go into that 3-2 scenario now with just 50 seconds left, which means SSGA's got to find an equalizer to be able to start getting that plant down to play a little bit of that protect the president. And Scary's going to take HUD off the board, and that's going to put us into a 2-2, but not to be denied. Neon yet again onto another one as he finds himself a kill. Neon with a pistol, popping a body drop. I think we're breaking out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece.
Let's go, my friend. Man, what a play at the end. We see, you said it, a big defensive win. Are they going to play customs as a result? I said not a chance. That was a great defensive win, though, for Looking for Scrim. They pull it off on the Vent Workshop side. They're going to go bathroom tellers, try it one more time. They lost it back on round 2 and 3, but when they're hitting their shots, I think they can pull it off.
Wow, W gifted subs in the chat by John T. A little bit of a challenge there, Mr. Whiskey.
Hey, you know what? He said how much? You know, 5 gifted, easy. All right, it has to be a great shot, though. So I'm waiting. Which one of these 2 teams is going to pull it off? Looking for Scrim, SSG ACAD, and I've got some gunners on both sides. Gonna be watching and waiting, my friend. And honestly, we've seen some great shots. And when they hit those shots, comes up with round wins. Looking for Scrim has been very good at that. A couple of mechanically gifted guys, when they hit, that's when they pick up that win. SSG ACAD, though, in general, playing just a little bit more controlled, methodical, fundamental game of Siege. So that's what Looking for Scrim has got to try and avoid, that fundamental side. Force them into 1v1s where maybe they can catch somebody off guard.
That's right, and going to see some pressure being put on to Oryx right away here as he's holed up into security, but seems like they got a little intel on that already. These drones are set, they're ready with the cuts in hand, and do have a couple of C4s to try to stop that vertical presence as they are going to make their way into it. Honestly, I like this defensive setup. I like that we're seeing Oryx and the Echo being brought out. This feels like a good call and a switch up to the norm.
That's it. It's definitely an interesting one. This is a map where I think having some of that extra mobility and the ability to move around the hatches in that way certainly gives the defense a little bit of an advantage. We have not seen Oryx sort of move into one of the power operators on defense, but you said it. This is a map where it might be the play. Now, again, you're hoping to maybe catch this SSG ACAD team off guard, catch this, you know, the fundamental team, and there's one to catch it. Soapy goes down in a big first pick. Neon, again, just going crazy right now. How about 9 and 3? No way.
Just having an absolute bang around. He's able to take another off the board, and that does put us into a 5-3 scenario with intel on the board, Echo drones, and the Valk cams. Yeah, we've got the IQ to help suss them out, and look at here it is. Valkyrie with a C4 underneath. It's a primed, prepped, and ready for somebody to come in and just get absolutely dealt with. Diffuser down and outside means they're going to have to make some sort of rotation. Towards that security area. They're going to find it. Adept goes down, which gives them an opportunity now to grab that diffuser and potentially get back up and in. Verticality to be had here as the Rams open up just a ton of stuff, but we've got 2 folks playing still in custom, so verticality not going to be a huge factor until they start putting the pressure onto that one. Kaysen's going to find him. Answered back as Adept takes him off the board. Kaysen goes down in that exchange, though, so now into a 1v3, and LFS looking to find themselves on... LFS looking to find themselves on the man advantage, although one gets caught out. Echo goes down. 37 seconds left, and it's a low health scenario for Scary. He's got to be perfect. There's still a smoke canister in hand, still a C4 to potentially be sent out, and Neon, who has been an absolute tear, gets close to finding one. Smoke canister goes out. That's going to slow down that last process. Neon, yet again, is going to find one. Neon still sitting in workshop, holding on to the long angle.
He's gonna get it!
Do it! Scary! Headshot! Bang!
Mike Breen style. Man, he hits that one from downtown. The DMR, it's a DMR era in Siege right now. He opens up all the sight lines with that big shotty and then just cleans up the rest of SSG ACAD. Man, 3 in a row for looking for Scrim. Add that third quarter now. They are on a roll after having cleaned up the second. 3 in a row. Damn, what a run for these guys.
4-2 on the split. LFS goes on to their attacking side, which you alluded to in the pre-show would start to favor them, right? They're very aggressive. They're spotting the gaps really nicely, and Border, for the most part, attacker-sided. Right, so now it's going to be SSGA with a little bit of the pressure to try to see if they can close this one out in 2, or if we're going to get a map number 3.
I love the ban here on the mute. It's one of the things that SSG seemed like they were, you know, blocking the intel is certainly something I think that is going to work really well for them. And so looking for Scrim says, now we need to be able to get the drones in. We need to be able to work the Twitch side, maybe Brava, maybe stack up some of this intel that give them information on where SSG ACAD is playing. Take away that piece. And, man, Deimos again, banned on both sides of the attacking this time around. Just too good on this map. Deimos, so good on Border.
Attackers discovered the location of a bomb.
I like that ban coming out. The Deimos and the feel very necessary sometimes for Border, especially because of how much verticality LFS was playing on NIghtHaven. Feels like a good ban right out the gate. Nazami on the other side of it obviously makes sense. Mute to stop that intel grab, which LFS again was using so predominantly in that last map. These are good bans that came out. It's going to be slow down city out here for the defense. Double area denial up top. A little breach denial. Bandits here as well. And then the fun one, right? Sentry on the board. Lots of util to be had added to that C4 count.
And we just pile up C4s. Yeah, lots of explosives being brought by this team. A pair of C4s and a pair of impact. So I've got this thing. You know, no Pulse this time around. I imagine we're going to see him on maybe some of those first floor sites because of how good SSG was playing Pulse on that on NIghtHaven as well, looking back at that one. So they do have both the Ace and the Grim available this time around, and they're going to run it. And well, we talked about it right off the bat. Mute not on the board, going to give the drone operators a little bit of freedom to roam with both the Twitch and the Brava being brought out here. And they're doing great work clearing utility on both sides of the map at this point. But man, Soapy's going to suss out one of those Twitch drones and take it down to protect those Goyo canisters in play. So they still have got breach denial and Goyo canisters. LFS is going to have to work a little bit harder on the drones to clear it, and quick.
Frenchman is done. Lots of intel to be had here by this attacking team as they're getting in and trying to figure out where exactly everybody's staying out. They're going to force it back into sight now as it takes a couple of shots, but just a little too late to be able to hit those. But what does it do? Gives them east. Now attack is in a good position to start pressuring sight.
And we were sitting at 124, all 10 left alive in the lobby here, and they're working it slowly again. This time feels like LFS not moving super quickly. Vipo was going to be the first to take down Scary, though. That's a huge first pick, but answer, goes double. Soapy, what an answer back, though.
Yeah, Retro gets taken off the board as well. That main advantage back into the hands of LFS as they find themselves up 3-2. Minute on the board. They're going to answer again. Adept able to take one down. Now into a 2-1. Vapoa is but a bullet, though, to try to keep this one alive. It's still going to have to see Adept be perfect in his headshots to be able to pull this one off. Grim Bees go out. The reason that we saw him banned in the last map is it can just absolutely suss out where everybody is sitting. Now, with 38 seconds left, they're going to start making that rotate. They've got him dead to rights, except for he's going to find it.
No way!
P7 takes Vapoa off the board. Still going to be sussed out on some of that BP, or on the BP that's sitting up there. Now it's the wait game. Now it's the hold game. Who's going to make that mistake? Starts going, it starts the diffuser going down, and I can't tell if they've got him on cam, if it was stolen by a clutch drone or not. I think that's still into the hands of the defense here. So 11 seconds left to pre-fire. Not going to find anything just yet. Holding on to it. It's going to rotate down the stairs, giving another chance for another potential plant. Starts making his way back up. Sound cues go out. 2 seconds. He's not going to stick it, and Adapt's going
He gets it!
Pwned and owned.
And came down to that final 1v1 battle, and you can see that Bulletproof going off like crazy, giving away the intel. When is the perfect time to swing? And the defense picks up that second floor stronghold one more time. That's 3 times played. 3 times the defense has picked it up, and LFS may have been on a heater on that second quarter, but SSG ACAD answered back, find their big first defensive win, and big thank you there to the XGS channel for raiding in. Sounds like their best of 3 is over, so somebody's going to have to share the news. Which one of the teams qualified to the XGS Season 8 closed qualifier there from that other lower bracket match?
Into the bathroom for this second defense SSGA style, and they're going to bring out those 2 operators we are just talking about, right? All of a sudden, Castle makes sense for the downstairs. Obviously, you're going to be trying to extend up vertically, maybe a little out horizontally. Sometimes you can see it put onto that double that's right outside of the single wall on tellers to help hold on to that lower guarded spot. But again, Oryx back on the board. The Bailiff able to create those rotates and a banger gun. I like seeing both of these being brought out.
Crazy we're seeing again him on both sides of the map, and also seems to me strange that we're seeing so much Cade being played on border. Doesn't feel like he has been that op that we really see teams sort of lean into, but man, both teams playing a lot of Cade and the Oryx. That's just kind of crazy, and man, Soapy is on a bit of a tear as well. Everybody right now on this SSG ACAD roster hitting some shots, so they're putting pressure on LFS. These guys have got to hold together here. You can't leave it all up to Neon Light, who has been insane. He can't be the only guy. Can't be those individual heroes going to carry you all the way to a map win.
Yeah. I think first step is going to start to see Drix get a few more kills in line. And did you see that run? Was that the Cade Claw onto the castle barricade? That's what it looked like. They were holding that thing down. One of those newest changes that was brought to Rainbow Six Siege is now those castle barricades can see a little bit of electricity, can make it a little bit more difficult, can dictate who you need to bring to the table to find the win. It's going to see 2 ring out very quickly as Retro and Scary go down. That's going to be man advantage back into the hands of LFS as they're looking to put themselves on a 5-up. Plant starts going down, takes some shots through the back.
Oh!
He's gonna miss it, and then get the kill as he goes down. Now into a 3-2 with post-plant scenario. It's gonna be up to have Depth and Scary to bring this one back. Depth gonna finish that kill, now into a 2-2, and Neon again gonna find another kill. Just Mr. Highlight walking at the moment, but unfortunately gonna lose his life. 30 seconds left. That's all he's got to do. HUD has just got to win this 1v1 to put him close to that match point scenario.
He gets it!
Jesus.
No way!
Soapy gonna find it. Huge kill, and now he's got to find the diffuser, which is locked away. They're going to be able to take this one off the board. You got to have 7 seconds on the board to start that to make sure that you get it. Kaysen will not get dead. He'll just be down, and defender's going to find the back one, or find the next one off a little bit of shenanigans. That was crazy. What a 3-piece.
There is no way I thought SSG ACAD was winning that round. That was all LFS. They hit their shots. Neon, we said you can't win off the back of some individual heroics. Well, he was ready to prove me wrong individually as he picks up a 3-piece on that round. But man, Soapy came alive at the right moment, the right rotate over on the workshop side, and shuts him down. Ties this thing back up 4-4. We're in a best of 3 between these two teams. If you want to see map 3, LFS needs to come alive right now. This is SSG ACAD's map pick, so that I have to get it done in a place they didn't expect.
All right, keeping the routine going. Castle's still going to remain the factor for their extensions, for holding on to it. Lucy to slow him down. This is going to stick to the same lineup. Kate, yet again, you talked about it. Probably going to hold on to some of those castle barricades, potentially. I'd love to see that on like a site wall, or on that site or something like that. Very incentive. Make you bring somebody, force you to deal with it. Now, they do switch up here at the last second, so they must have seen something that they liked as Vipul goes on to the thick block. Rotero drones come out, so a little bit trying to get rid of some of that extension util this time.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a change up there at the end, and you said it, like when you get a chance to see it. Now, one of the other things is, I feel like we have not seen very much Thatcher, to be honest, with how good Thatcher is in the current meta with the change into his gadget. Again, teams are trying to figure out what's the right way to play the change. Still, he feels like a very W operator right now. A little bit of combination of the IQ and his previous self. And again, if the defense is going to continue to run a lot of Cade, I think his value only increases at that point. So I'm a little bit surprised we didn't see more of him. HUD's going to bring him out this time around, and again, run that DMR, because it's a DMR meta, not a DMA, thank God.
Or a DMX, although I'm fine with that one.
Honestly, yeah, we could go either way. We said Vent Workshop going to be a ton of utility and time spent upstairs on that Armory Archive side, and that's where Kaysen's sitting, just waiting, again, holding that DMR. They don't have a very big commitment to it. Still only 2 players with Kaysen and Soapy, the only 2 guys upstairs. The rest downstairs a little bit more direct, but forcing this looking for scrim team to spend time hunting down those players upstairs.
Man, couple of blind shots from the middle of metal is going to see a blind fight. Neither one of them really taking any damage, but both of them damn close to finding that opening entry kill. They do have a little intel now that he's holed up inside a fountain, so we'll start to put that pressure on. Yes, Ram's going to open it up. Couple of shots through into the closet, but nobody there just yet to get caught off guard. It's a huge investment into the vertical here, so this push in is going to be huge.
No way Neon wins that. What?
Soapy. Dang, that's a crazy shot. Neon is just on fire. 14-5, just absolutely dominating on quarter now, and trying to bring his team there, keep his team in this. Drix is going to find that kill. Drix good for a double now. As we said, he needed to step up for LFS to be a factor going into this back half of this map, and they do just that. Now puts them onto a 4v2 scenario. They are finally able to take HUDs off the board.
No way! What a whiff!
Scary able to take Drix down. Now puts the 3-2 plans going down. A couple of shots. He's going to equalize now as Casey's on the double. Low health here for the defense, though, so it's going to have to be perfect in their shots as they attempt to retake back into it now. Two-Brow does have that DMR, looking to claim one of them. Neon is going to be the big factor here. Take him down, shut down his approach, shut down his gun skill, because you can't shoot when you're dead. They take Vapoa. You still got a few seconds to get this job done. They need to power it. It's the vertical play here. Take some shots from below. You're trying to push him off. One to shoot, one to hold. Low health. They're going to
He gets it!
Kaysen, Statham on the quad kill, breaking out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece, baby.
Man, I know there's a lot of Kaysen fans in the chat, and boy, he showed up on that round when it counted. 5-4 as SSG ACAD pulls ahead of Looking for Scrim, 7 Eastern with a W in name, but struggling right now as they go 3-3, 2 perfect quarters in a row for each of these teams. So the big question as we get into the ban phase, are we going to see a target ban? We're going to see a ban that's part of the plan? Honestly, it feels like it's going to be, well, you know what? I thought we were going to see maybe a Two-Brow ban there rather than the Smoke. I think Smoke was good, but Two-Brow was just better across the board. And again, right now, Looking for Scrim, hoping Neon can carry them. He's been doing great, but again, can't do it individually. And SSG is making him pay for it right now.
Absolutely. I like the Smoke ban, right? Has kind of been that factor on both sides of the defensive play where he was just basically denying areas to get in, time torching, not
Attackers need to
necessarily
locate and
using it
defuse
to
bombs.
stop the plant, but more to deny entry and to deny space. And also, on the other side of it, the Grim doing the same thing in the other direction, right? Allowing them to take
Bomb
inch
located
by
by
inch
attackers.
and claim some real estate, put themselves into better cut positions. So, honestly, I think both of these bans make sense. The problem is, yeah, you're still going to be able to put Kaysen on Two-Brow. And it almost looks like he anticipated that as he just goes on to the Aruni instead.
I mean, still running the DMR, Aruni is so good right now in this current meta. Both because of her ability
10
to
seconds
burn the
remaining.
utility. Yes, the change to her gadget, I think, was just a slight nerf, but really nothing to make the change versus the utility you get from bringing out that DMR. So I think this is still a great call. And look at this, going to run out and W utility outside that window as heavy investment put outside the map there. And man, look at this. Vipo was ready for it. Looking, are you going to take another run at it? No, not this time around. So you're going to dodge the bullets here at the end, but wow, what a long angle potentially being held there to put pressure on Scary.
Trying to make the push in. Fenrir Gadget's going to make that a little bit more difficult. It's going to go off a couple of times, and now Scary under fire. He's going to take a couple of shots, put him into a low health scenario. Fenrir Gadget still going off, still being the menace as the environmental ingredient goes off at the top of the east stairs there. C4 in hand. Adept looking to try to claim one from fountain area. Sends it. Not going to find one just yet, though. That's going to be the one of two C4s done, dusted off board. Still nobody. Oh well, okay. I was going to say still nobody has paid the price with their life just yet, but Adept's going to be that first one to go down. As after that C4 knew exactly where it was sitting, they sent in a grenade and they take him off. Man advantage now into the hands of LFS.
Just a wow in the chat. I mean, no cooking nades unless you're playing Wild Card Siege this time around, but yeah, we're getting to see it. The nade comes out, and oh, it didn't hit the Goyo canister. Honestly, a little bit surprised about that, but you can see the Bandit battery still in place. So there's still a ton of defensive utility here upstairs holding on, but man, this is supposed to be the defensive stronghold site, and right now, LFS is putting a little bit of a beat down on SSG ACAD, up 5-3 after that huge nade pick to start this thing off, but it is still a very difficult site they need to clear, and still have got lots of defensive utility in play to slow this attack down. So need to win one, maybe two of these battles, but Scary's the guy that takes down Neon. What a huge loss for LFS.
Yeah, but they see it down in the process as well as Retro is down for the count. Yeah, you took the top frag off, but there was a heavy price for it. Now to a 3-2, and they do take the swing on it because they're finally able to take Sobi off the board. Now putting it all, or Scary off the board. Now putting it all onto the hands of Sobi. A Vector, a couple of impacts as he's just trying to hold on to sight here. Doesn't look like a potential to get Retro back up, but he might take a shot trying to get there into the clock. Shots on to 90. Goyo gadgets start going
No
off.
way!
Oh, he's gonna get the down. They're gonna finish and get the confirm as now got an idea that he's sitting into that closet area. 1v2, the SSGA trying to get themselves to a match point scenario in 18 seconds in which to get it done. Vector onto the reload now as shots coming through from the window.
No way!
He's gonna get the kill. Soapy on the triple. Now with a shotgun in hand, Soapy's gonna get dealt with, and that's gonna get a little closer to tying us up. That was a crazy round.
Man, what a play. 5-5 as LFS comes up in a big way, attacking win on the defensive stronghold. Man, but it came down to a 1v1 in the very end. SSG ACAD so close to picking up that, putting them on match point, but LFS ready to hang on. We said they needed to. They have to be perfect. They have to win this map to be able to send the decider, or the best of three will be done into as SSG ACAD currently up 1-0 in this best of three.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Little prod joke in our prod chat, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say it because it's funny. He said it was almost as if Soapy was cleaning house, but not quite able to get it done. Found a spot still. Now into a equalized 5-5 run. This is next thing's gonna be a match point scenario. I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
Honestly, man, we're just waiting with bated breath because it could go either way. 5-5, both teams having some moments of brilliance, some individual heroics. Neon still sitting at 14-7, but man, he's starting to be backed up. Ayers picked up 10, Kaysen at 11, Adept at 10, Soapy at 11. There's some gunners on both sides of this game at this point, and man, what a great series we've had so far. We're only on the second map, and it feels like we have been at it for quite some time. Can't call it, my friend. Too close at this point.
Yeah, agree with you. You can hear that clutch drone getting active, trying to take off some of those Fenrir gadgets that were so devastating on that last bit of push in. Now, of course, they were able to deal with it. They won themselves around, but it ate up a ton of time. So this time, clutch drone, twitch drone, they're going to be on to make sure that they can get all of that extension util off the board. Trying to deal with those Goyos, trying to deal with those Miras, those Fenrirs, and those Banshees. This is a ton of stuff that these drones could get dealt with right now.
Yeah, the problem is, I was going to say he's got to stay alive, but no, is Neon working too hard, putting himself in a bad position, and SSG ACAD just punishing him for it right now. That's twice I think he's been the opening pick here for LFS, and that, I want to say, spells doom for this team because the rest of the team has started to step up, but you hate to lose your top frag so quickly, especially when it's the Buck, to be able to put a little bit of pressure down from down below up on into the SSG ACAD power position. So huge pick there for this team. They do still have both the Twitch and the Bravo, like you said, so they have the opportunity to clear out the defensive utility still. They just gonna need to move a little bit faster this time around.
Got some intel that they're about to make that push in through break. They use an environmental ingredient to keep themselves safe from the 90 area and smokes towards the backside as well. So a little bit of confusion potentially. Fenrir is going to push up. They're going to get a little bit of damage. Not able to make the push in really because he stymied it right as the smoke started to head out. Now the clutch or the Brava goes down. Main advantage in a big way. 5-3 into the hands of SSGA is starts to feel a little bit, or not a little bit, a lot of pressure for LFS. They have to win this map or this best of three is over and done with, and you don't want to be trying to do that on a match point scenario. Line Pink's going to go out. Nobody really going to be moving outside of Retro, who doesn't really care where he's sussed out at because they're sitting taking shots on outside of the map. They know exactly where he's at. Still looking for one. They got to find two to equalize to bring this back to run. Time to start the countdown. Sheesh. Retro to find one case and answer again, and that's going to put us into a 4v1. It's all on to Vapoa. He's going to find that first kill onto Kaysen, and you talked about his ace clutch on Consulate. Well, not going to be the case here, as you got to try to deal with the Mira. He's just not going to be able to get that one done. A quick swing's going to find it, and that's a match point scenario for SSGA.
The only advantage that LFS has got coming into this final round here is that was 2F, the defensive stronghold. Now we're on the attacker-sided map on LFS attack side, and in what is a earthquake-shattering move from SSG Academy, they're going to pick Customs as the final place to do battle. No way. Now somebody needs to look up this stat for me. Did SSG just throw this map? Did they give it away to LFS? Or are they going to show us something special, brother?
I felt it was coming. I just felt it in my bones that we were going to see a custom tonight. And on a match point scenario where you're trying to pull something quick, you know what? I'm not mad at this. I feel like this is the same as bringing out a cap can that hasn't been seen, that's a clash that maybe hasn't been seen all game. So now you got to find some adaptation. And what are they bringing to the table for it? We've got the castle on board to hold on to that extension. And again, that Oryx coming out to make sure that they can be across the map, up both vertically and horizontally as quick as possible. Intel and holding on to the wall. We'll see how this one's going to play out, Run. This could be huge.
The only thing that feels like it's missing from this defense is no Pulse. Man, Pulse is so good playing in that detention area to try and maybe block that breach, to back up Adept. But this time, yeah, Vipo is going to run the IQ. They're going to give him plenty of information here. They're going to open up that wall. I was going to say almost immediately, but W trick coming out from Adept. Man's 11 and 7, and Neon this time, he's not going to be the first one that goes down. He's going to be the first one to take a life as he plays the vertical down below. Just W play, picks up a second. Holy cow, my friend. We are 3 kills away from overtime on map 2.
That's a tough situation to find yourself in. But, of course, Gadget is at least down for the castle. They're going to take a couple of shots, and that's able to find Neon off the board. That's the top frag done. That's part of the win con here for SSGA as they take down Mr. Highlight and the Dokkaebi, so no cams to be had as well. Up in the man advantage by 1. Still needing to take some of this critical space. 0 defenders actually in sight, right? Tellers, supply, and server. Well, I guess supply, right? Adept is holding it there. He is the sole person holding on to it. Going to be huge onto the shoulders of Kaysen and Soapy to try to hold on to this. 2 C4s still in hand. Able to potentially deny a plan. A quick swing. Ooh! Going to take Kaysen off the board.
What
That's
a W shot.
As the headshot rings out. C4 is going to go, but it's not going to find anybody just yet. Now into a 4v2, a 4v1 as Popoa takes Adept off the board. A quick run out. A C4 is going to claim. No, it gets shot out of the board. He's going to try to take another shot. Plan starts going down as he finds one. Now looking towards Customs, but it's not going to get it done. Customs doesn't win it. The one-off is not there to take it. We're going to overtime.
That's right. Customs. Bad call. You know what, and honestly, LFS hit a couple of great shots there, but it's just a very difficult site to hold. We didn't see a lot of vertical presence from the SSG ACAD defense. It took a bunch of direct sites. That supply side is just very difficult to hold once the detention side gets opened up. And you know, when you have the beeper in the middle of the custom side, it really limits your ability to rotate, move around without giving away your direct position. So the fact that Neon picked up that opening kill, I think certainly gave them that boost that they needed. If he had been the guy to go down, that might have been a completely different story, but they lost a big piece of their vertical hold after Neon takes them down. So you said it, my friend. We are going to overtime. 6-6 all tied up on map 2 of this best of 3. SSG ACAD up 1 map to 0. Looking for Scrim. Trying to find one map here to send this to map 3.
Okay, well, when you put it like that, it feel kind of like it's all on the line. Crazy that you still see the mirror left on the board. Obviously, bans are done, but if she's on for border, she's gonna be used. You see that the zombie or the Aruni, Fender, Bandit, and Goyo. This is try to lock down as much as you can. A little bit of extension util, but really just going to be trying to hold on to side at this point.
It is the 2F defensive stronghold, the place we expect to see SSG ACAD pick up a win here. Really, only one time has it fallen. Round 10. LFS picked up that win, but it was quickly answered back by SSG on round 11 to set up that dramatic customs defense to close out regulation time. So this is the question. LFS back, Vipoa back on this Monty again, playing the big shield. Not backed up by any other shields this time. Neon's going to run the buck, going for that vertical down below to push some of the SSG ACAD players out of position. But look at this. Scott holding on to that east side with that mirror window, direct on a soft wall. Make it a little bit easier, a little bit more dangerous for the attackers to push up and try and make a direct play for that mirror window.
Bucks starting to get active here on some vertical play. They're going to find the first kill as they take 12 and 10 Sobe off the board. Huge first, and look at that. Retro to send one right on over. He's going to find it on a C4 play, and then find Neon off the board as well.
That's huge.
Double kill ringing out. And so now it's going to be Vipoa coming up to put some pressure onto this Mira as they try to equalize this man count.
Man, yeah, huge play there for LFS. Unfortunately, losing their two top frags. These three guys can get it done. They still have got the shield. They still have got that flank watch in hand. HUD has got all of this extra utility there from the Capitao to come out. But, man, a couple of quick shots taken, and Retro beats the shield. Vipoa goes down.
That's right, but it gets equalized as Retro and Adepts are taken off the board now into a 2-2 scenario as they find themselves in a little bit of a pressure point here. There's still plenty of time, though. The attack, if they get a little bit of a reset, they could be in a good position to find themselves in a post.
They do.
That's exactly what they're doing. Yeah, they're going to just go ahead and get in and start planning. They're going to stick it. They're going to find themselves with one. Shots through as Cason's able to take tricks off
No
the
way,
board.
not
Now
again.
have to deal with HUD the stud outside. They've planted so many times, but haven't been able to quite capitalize on it just yet. This is going to be a big round for that to finally play out. Now it's got the hold. Right now you've got the cross set up. Not going to be able to deal with them on the planter. They're going to find that first round of defense.
That's the third time we have seen Looking for Scrim drop a post plant to SSG ACAD. And they've been hitting their shots, there's no doubt about it, but man, it comes down to it. Post plant scenario again, and they fall. SSG ACAD goes up. The defense picks up the 2F site, which is not unexpected. That's the defensive stronghold, and for sure we're going to see LFS pick 2F for their overtime map. But man, what a heartbreaking way to lose another round. You get the plant down, you go for that objective-based gameplay, and then lose the post-plant scenario 3 times on a single map.
Tough. Now we're going to see their defensive side of it. The pressure has mounted
Attackers
here
need to locate and
for
defuse as many
LFS.
bombs as they can.
They lose this round, it's over. It's done. They did it. SSGA will take the win and move on. They're going to do it on 2F. They're going to bring along some of that area denial, the castle taken off the board in those last set of bans here for these guys. So a DMR, a little bit of intel, a hope and a dream here for LFS to try to bring this one into double OT.
I mean, it's the best opportunity. This is the place that we expect LFS to pick up that. Now, we didn't see this. We didn't see SSG ACAD win a second floor 2F attack yet so far. Both times they lost it. Again, part of that. LFS had a great run in the second quarter of this map, winning 3 in a row to close out the first half. So can they pull off some of that same magic this time around? Feels like this is the place to do it. I mean, full 15 rounds seems like it's on the table, but the opening pick I feel like is going to tell the story here. Which team is going to pick up that opening shot?
I love out of the defense here that they're locking down stuff on the first floor again, right? Just giving yourself that extra bit of time waste, extra bit of sound cue, and I guess just a little bit of extra intel as they try to maybe pull a creeper strat up east or up to the top of metal. Something you're going to have to deal with is the attacking team, which means you're going to have to go in loud and proud, my friend. And to do so, they brought the Blitz and the Ying along. I think they're thinking exactly that.
yeah, create some chaos. And it's one of the things that we saw SSG ACAD pull off on a couple of rounds on NIghtHaven. It was not their base strategy, but it feels like something that the IGL maybe calls as they spot a little bit of a gap here. So Vipoa does have the Warden, so it feels like the Blitz and the Ying are going to be a little less effective. But he's going to be the guy that they want to take down first! And that's it, my friend. Man, they get down Vipoa. That is a huge boost to this SSG ACAD attack.
That's right, and they're going to find a couple of extras now into a 4v2.
No way.
To fall apart for the defense here, as they've got still some of those power ops onto the board. Smoke's going to ring out as they make their try to make their way over, but it's a shield, unfortunately, that's going to be gaining that intel. So pushed up into the closet. As we see Neon take one. Neon goes down to Soapy finds it. Now it's all going to be up to HUD. A shotgun in hand. Not going to be enough to get it done. SSG is going to take it as the GGs rain out in the all chat.
Oh, hard-fought victory indeed. Map 3 not required this time around as SSG ACAD claims a 2-0 victory, very similar to the Gambling Men over on the XGS mainstream. Congratulations there to that team, SSG ACAD, and how about that? Both of the console stacks one more time. This the console converts, I suppose, with Kaysen coming over and joining this SSG ACAD roster, and then the Gambling Men, also big GGs to them to picking up the other match. But man, LFS, you guys put up a great round, a hell of a match, kept it entertaining all the way to the very end, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great game, and it almost saw map number 3. It was so fun to watch. Unfortunately, someone's got to win and someone's got to lose, Run, and in this case, SSGA is going to take it. They're going to move on, and they're going to head into XGS. Now, I'm going to see HUD have to go through qual number 2.
Man, and big thanks, 7,700 followers on this stream. We crossed that milestone mark. We appreciate you all joining us for that one. And I know, Glitter, you had something to say about that.
Yeah, you know what? As just a big thank you to everybody, we're going to be finally solidifying the thing that so many people have asked us for. On our 7,700th follow, we're going to go ahead and release the official SDS merch. Hoodies, beanies, gamer sleeves. We're going to put the link there in the chat. If you want to be a part of the SDS family, if you want to wrap it outside of the server, well, now's your chance to do so and help support some of your local casters in the process. We're just so grateful for everybody in the Siege community, for all of the subs, all of the follows, just a couple of years now of allowing us to be that household name that you want to see in T4, T3, or whatever Siege that is going on. We thank you so much for being such a huge part of it. We're going to do a giveaway at some point here, give away one of those fancy hoodies that we had just made up. It is our grind line. It is no days off. It is eat, sleep, Siege, which is, of course, what we live for here on the Siege Double Shot. So if you want to be a part of it, this is going to be our first run. I'm not sure how long we're going to keep this specific line up and running, so get it while it's hot. Eat, sleep, Siege, grind line, now available through the merch command. We'll put it on Twitter as well. If you're in the Discord, there'll be a link for it as well. Just honestly, we want to thank you guys all so much for allowing us to be a part of your Siege life and a part of this Siege community.
Yeah, it's been an awesome to have everybody with us today, and big thanks to XGS for having us help cover both of the games that were happening at the same time. And you know what Patch said, a huge lower bracket run for both of the teams that qualify. They make it to closed. We're going to see them again in 2 weeks as a part of that closed qualifier run. Open qualifier next weekend if you didn't make it. If you want to give it a shot to try and win some of that XGS money next weekend, another open qualifier. Check them out on OPL. You can use the bracket command to find the league on OPL there, and then sign your team up. I mean, give it a shot. Make a run for the money, my friend.
That's right. And if you want your team casted or you want to be a part of the community, you can also, of course, hit that discord.gg/doubleshot. Come play some ranked with us. We're always in there playing different games, Siege mostly, but playing different games. Run as a Fortnite all-star, so potential to get any sort of FPS is going on. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at glitter_whiskey. He's at racingengr, and together we're the Siege Double Shot. Yeah, your one-stop shop for anything RC 4-6, T4 2-1. We're going to try to help you get the job done, my friends. But for us tonight, alas, we have come to the dreaded part of the evening where we must bid you adieu. So as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Ayo.
Let's go.